Backpacking Podcast brought to you by Outdoor Vitals, makers of performance first ultralight gear. With me today is the king of Kentucky backpacking, one handsome red-headed man and the tallest backpacker to successfully complete the long trail. What's going on, Jeremiah? How are we doing, Mr. Jeremiah Stringer, this morning?
Hey, I am recovering, my friend. Look, I got my dad mug, and I talked to a buddy at work, and he said, some people, they take off work whenever they could just carry on with life. If you can, push forward. I've been pushing forward, dude. I don't know what happened. Maybe one of my buddies got me a little sick on my trip over the weekend, or maybe it's my baby coming back from daycare, or maybe it's these snotty-nosed kids I work with every day at work, being a public school teacher.
It could also be the fact that it was 65 degrees like a week ago, and it was in the 20s overnight.
Hey, dude, I lived outside over the weekend, and big shift. Exactly what you said. You show up at 68, you wake up the next day, and there's an inch of snow. So,
And then it's gone in an hour.
yeah. Speaking of, by the way, a quick word from Outdoor Vitals. You can check them out at outdoorvitals.com. I'm wearing their Vantage Alpine jacket right now. I'm going to have to take it off, dude. I come up here.
That is that warm. I wore an entire show a couple weeks ago, and that thing burned me up.
Well, I put it on because when I come up here to record in my little YouTube studio, quote unquote, the AC was on in here. I got a mini split up in this room, and it was like 60 degrees in here. It's just pumping in cold air from outside. My watch says it's 42 and raining outside right now. So, I turned the heat on. I come back in here. I was like, it's so cold. Let me throw on this jacket. Instantly warm. Now my lower back is sweating. And it's just so warm, dude. I think it's their warmest jacket. Don't quote me on that. But of the ones I've worn, that thing is a beast. But when I was out this weekend, my friends, I took off my jacket and I had another Outdoor Vitals layer on. And they're like, you got another outdoor. They're like, what are those pants? I was like, oh, dude, you're going to love these. Let me take you for a spin. I showed them all the features on the new pants that they sent us. Then I unzipped that layer and I had an Outdoor Vitals base layer on. And they're like, are you getting paid to walk out here and all this Outdoor Vitals gear? I was like, no, you don't understand. It's so good.
It's so good.
Wear it. Why would I not?
I do the same thing. I remember when we got the new pants, the new Alpine pants. I put those on. I wore those, and somebody saw them, and they looked at them real close. I go, what? And they said, that has an OV on it. They're Outdoor Vitals, aren't they? I was like, yes, they are. Like, you wear Outdoor Vitals all the time. And I'm like, they make really good clothes. They make clothes that are good enough for the backcountry, but nice enough to wear out in public.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. They said that's the first thing that we noticed was those new pants, because my old pants were Under Armour, and I melted the entire bottom, like right where the seam is at the very bottom. I totally melted it. I don't know if I was drying my shoes off or what. So now that I got those new pants, I'm being real careful around that fire, dude.
Oh, I know. I'm going to tell you what, that beanie they sent us for Christmas. Folks, I forgot to look online and see if they're selling this. I'm sure they are. It looks like a regular beanie.
Yeah, fleece line though.
And then you put it on, it's fleece lined, and it is the warmest beanie I've ever worn in my life. And it's actually big enough for your head.
Oh, that's what I was going to say, dude. I got my ponytail, my long hair. I can actually put that up inside of it, and
your ears are still covered.
Yeah, my hat's not half hanging off like the rest of the hat. So shout out to outdoorvitals.com. What a great sponsor and a great maker. Always innovating. Love their new Shadow Light Carbon. Check them out, and their Mountain Pursuit line. Outdoorvitals.com. Link in the description.
Yeah, we've already got a bunch of people in here already chatting it up. Too many to be able to take them on and just say hi to everybody. But we've definitely got everybody in here. It's good to see you folks today. We got some fun stuff to talk about, Jeremiah. But the first thing I want to talk about is you went down to Cave Run Lake over the weekend.
Yeah, dude.
I would like to hear about this trip a little bit.
All right. I'd love to tell you a little bit about it. Not a huge, long story. Like if you missed the Fiery Gizzard episode where I was talking about that and all the poop talking stuff, really, really fun stories to talk about. This one, pretty quick overnighter. Honestly, we were talking about it last week, and I was like, what do I do? What do I do? And the weather just kept kicking my butt. You remember?
Yep.
So I kept watching. I woke up at 6:30 and I was like, if I get up and take a shower right now, I can be there, 9 a.m. And then I looked and it was like heavy local rainfall till 11 a.m. And I said, well, I guess I'm laying in the bed for a little while longer. So I laid there, played on my phone for an hour, got up, made some coffee, had some breakfast, took a shower, slow rolled it, and then finally left and started headed to the trail. Well, the guys were already out there. They were just waiting on me. They had been out there the night before enjoying the 68-degree weather. And I guess I brought the bad weather, but on the way they called me and they texted me the night before. They said, hey, we didn't bring a saw. We got 5 guys out here, no saw. Can you bring a saw? I said, yes, I'll bring you a saw. And so I put that in the backpack. One of my other buddies that's out there texted me, hey, can you get me an adult beverage and bring it in? I said, yes, I can. That'll be $10. He said, make it 2. So then 2 turned into another one. So then I have all
Okay,
this
hold
extra
up. So
weight.
how much weight did you end up carrying in there?
Bro, I was afraid to even weigh it. Normally I'll bring the fish scale and weigh my backpack, and
Right, right,
sometimes
right.
30, 40 pounds, dude. And then shout out Derwin off the rails. He was on this trip actually. And I was at Dollar General. Mr. Backpacking with Jason, sir, makes fun of me. I'll stop by Dollar General on the way and get some last second supplies. I remember when we were headed up to Michigan for that hammock hang. Remember us,
Oh yeah.
UGQ and Jason, Dan Becker, all of us. We met up there and done that hammock hang, and we were about, forgive me if you've heard this story before, we were about 25 minutes away from arriving at the campground or wherever we were staying. And I was like, hey, Jason, just a heads up, there's a Dollar General coming up here, and I didn't bring any food for this weekend. And we had to stop at the Dollar General, and Bridget and I somehow scrounged together enough supplies to make it through the week. Of course, they made hot dogs and stuff for us.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
So I had to do that on the way. And while I was at Dollar General, got a call. Hey, how far are you out? Okay, I'll be there in an hour, 2 hours tops, because I had to walk in. And Darwin off the rails, he says, can you get me a Pepsi? And I said, a Pepsi? Bro, I already got all these beverages. I got the saw. And then I was like, wait a second. Loyal listener has single-handedly funded the diaper fund for the Stringer household for a couple of months.
Yeah. I was
And I
just
said,
thinking the same thing. It's like, there was one guy you could do that for,
yes.
it's Derwin.
So what I done was when I got to the trailhead, I chugged my Nalgene of water. And I said, that should be enough weight offset. I can carry this Pepsi. So I got him, a 20-ounce Pepsi and stuffed that down in there. And I didn't bring any dessert for the guys this time, but everybody got a little something whenever I arrived at camp. And a beautiful walk in, mostly downhill. And the whole time I was walking downhill, looking at the lake in front of me, all I could think was, tomorrow it's going to be all uphill. Luckily, I'm going to get rid of all this weight.
Your pack is going to be about 10 pounds lighter.
Yes. Or more.
Or
And,
more.
And, food wise, I thought, I've been carrying around this. It's like creamy, spicy chicken. It's a freeze dried meal. And it's not laying over there. I put it downstairs. I was going to tell you what the company was. I can't remember. It's a newer company. And Trail something.
The Trail
food.
Goods?
Trail Goods. I think that's it.
Yeah.
If they got a creamy, spicy chicken. So I said, I've been carrying this around. And then I was thinking, well, I'm at Dollar General. Let me see if there's anything else I want. And I decided to sub it out and save that for a longer trip. Those backpacking meals get so expensive.
They
I like
do. They get
if
really
I'm going on
expensive.
a 4-day trip, then that feels like a better meal because I can carry that for multiple days and it only weighs a few ounces.
Oh, yeah.
So I swapped it out for some chicken Alfredo that's already pre-made that I just heated up in my cook pot.
Right. Yeah.
And man, we had a great time out there. They had camp already set up, and I got there, bro. It went from calm and nice to Rip Outdoors. I bet that Go Nuts pack carried it beautifully.
Yeah,
Well,
if you're listening online right now, Riff Outdoors literally left a comment that he bets that the Go Next pack carried it beautifully.
Well,
So
I used the Hyperlight on this trip and stuff. I could only get like one flap closed on. It's a roll down top. I said,
Oh,
I
well, if
got
you
to,
got that much stuff, heck yeah, you're not gonna get it closed.
stuff was
I'm
spewing
glad it
out the
didn't rain
sides.
on you.
Well, on the way in, it had stopped raining. Thank God I got there like literally 10 minutes after the rain had stopped. So the walk in was nice. But once I got to camp, it went from okay and nice out to 15-mile-per-hour winds. And they had all set up on this point on the lake. And I'd camped there a few times before. It's a great area, but it was so windy. They had two tarps tied, two of them tied together at different anchor points. Darwin had double stacked trekking poles with a tarp tied on top, and the other side stuck a foot into the ground. They were doing everything they could to try to get a windbreak. The wind ripped all that stuff apart, dude. It didn't damage anything,
Gosh.
but literally every single person except for Buckley, backpacking with Buckley, Tim Buckley, a great former guest on the show, he was the only one that didn't pack up and move further up the ridge. There was another campsite 30 yards away, no wind, not an ounce of wind. Evil Sean and I walked up there and checked it out. And I said, bro, we have to go back and convince the rest of these guys to move the entire camp 30 yards this way where there's no wind. Cause it was whipping, dude. It was 15-mile-per-hour winds, 15-degree wind. It was so cold. And I said, we might have to walk them up here so they can actually see it, because seeing is believing.
Right.
And sure enough, Buckley was the only holdout, and he kept his tarp down there. Don't know how he slept. You know, it sounded like all night long, but he
Oh,
had that
yeah.
tarp tied down tight. So we moved camp up there, hung out. I went to sleep pretty late. Don't get to see those guys very often. Some of them once a year, some of them not even. And
Right.
so I stayed up pretty late, hung out with the guys. Woke up the next morning. Buckley and Darwin said, hey, we got to get out of here. We got a 5-hour drive to get home. You know, Buckley's going to Pennsylvania. I don't know what town Travis lives in. And, well, I said, I guess I'm hiking out with the rest of the guys. There was a layer of ice on everything where it had iced
Oh,
at about 4 a.m. And then as we were about to leave, 15-mile-per-hour winds and snow. And
and
so,
not just a little bit of snow,
yeah,
because because you were up closer towards the level where I live, and
yeah.
so it was. I mean, when I say it snowed hard, folks, I'm talking 2, 3 inches of snow on the ground inside of less than an hour. It just poured the snow down. Now, if
Yep.
you live up in Colorado or North Dakota or something right now, and you're going, yeah, that's child's play. Get over it. We live in Kentucky, dude. That doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, it's kinda like when your family's from Florida and they come up north to visit you, and they're like, "I didn't know I needed a jacket," and you're like, "Well, it's Thanksgiving, it's November, didn't you think it's gonna be cold?" And they're like, "No, at home it's 82." And you're
Yeah,
like, "Oh, that's why you own 1 jacket amongst the 4 of you in your family. You just, swap it out whenever one of you has to leave on
right,
a 70-degree day."
right.
So we did hike out, and we made it through the snow, and it was mud galore when we got back out there, man. Didn't have to put it in 4-wheel drive, but it was a lot of fun. I ended up drinking lake water, which I'm not too fond of. I had to filter lake water because by the time we moved camps, it was so dark. Nobody wanted to walk the 20 minutes back to a creek.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the reason, if you're new to backpacking and you're thinking to yourself, why don't you like lake water? Lake water doesn't move. It just sits in a lake, and so it's not quite as clean and refreshing as good creek water. So, yeah, I totally get that, Jeremiah.
Yes,
100% get that.
especially after a little rain. If it's raining and it stirs up the mud, yeah, then that makes the lake water, and in the summertime, dude, 78-degree lake water in the summertime, drinking that is some of the it's just nasty,
Yeah,
even if you filter it, of course.
I remember hiking around Cave Run Lake actually years ago, and we'd been hiking all day, and it was 90 degrees out. It was in August, and we there were supposed to be water supplies all along the way, but they'd all dried up. And when we finally got to water, it was a creek that had stopped running, but there was a puddle of water in the middle. And it was literally the only water we had seen since we had been at the lake. And we got there and we had to drink it. I mean, there was nothing else we could do. We filtered that nasty stuff, pinched our noses, and just sucked it down. And it was the best nasty water I've ever had in my entire life.
Have you seen the videos of people like on the PCT and they get to a cow trough and there's dead mice in it and they're like, this is the only water for the next 75 miles. I have no choice but to filter.
And not just like, and it is for like several miles. I don't know about 75, but it is for like, I'm thinking 10 or 15 miles. It is the only water, and it's hot, and you've got to filter like 3 bottles of that so you make it through that. So you gotta suck down 3 bottles of that nasty water.
Oh, it's so gross, dude. I mean, what can you do though? Sometimes that's the only choice. Sometimes you pinch your nose and you're like, I got to put some electrolytes or something in here so it's not so nasty.
Yep. Hey, we got some great comments. I want to make sure we get these on here today real quick. Let me go back. They kind of came in quick. J Flow was curious if you got the beanie with the propeller on it.
How did you know, J Flow? Is that the one that they got on sale? Outdoor Vitals?
It's the best one ever. Rachel Jean, the Gypsy Queen, says, "Ooh, this is a vibe. I'm in the woods listening to the boys today." So she's out there right now having a good time. Then let's see. There was one other one. Here we go. Lake water will put some hair on your chest.
I think it did, bro. I think it did.
Yes, yes. Lots of red hair on Jeremiah's chest right
That's
now.
right.
Right now.
That's right.
Hey,
You can check us out on YouTube or Spotify if you want to see this lovely red chest hair. You could see the video version of
yeah,
the podcast.
if you're listening right now, Jeremiah is taking his shirt off and is flexing in front of the camera.
Well, I don't know if I'm taking that.
Okay, that's not true. I'm totally making that up. But okay, Jeremiah, bear canisters. Bear canisters.
Yeah.
Let's talk about those for a second. Some people are bear canister or nothing, and some people are like, I am never going to go anywhere where I have to carry one of those big bulky bear canisters. Let's talk about it a little bit. Why don't you wrote some stuff down? I want to hear what you have to say about it.
Yeah. First of all, I think the most popular brand is the BV, like the Bear Vault, and they
Bear
come
Vault,
in
yeah.
different sizes. I think probably the 500 is one of the most common. So people seem to absolutely love them. Not me. I think, where am I going to put this thing? So when I initially read some statistics on it, I was like, I don't know if it fits my needs. I read 13.6% of people are using bear canisters on trail, and 30% of people sleep with their food. Now, not to name names, Jeremiah Stringer, but also not just me. Some people that take more precaution than me, I think, like Jupiter Hikes. I don't know if any of y'all have heard of his stuff, but great YouTuber, backpacking, minimalist style, van life, that kind of stuff. He sleeps with his food. He uses it as a pillow. I don't know if he still does, but last I heard, he would like eat before he got to his camp. He'd cold soak his food, and then he would like double seal it in smell proof bags and then put it in his food bag and use that as a pillow. So maybe there is a way to really do that. I don't really go through all those steps. I usually eat at my own camp, but I'm wondering, what are all these people doing with their food, and how should we be doing it? It's preached and preached and preached that you need to do a bear hang or bear canister or one of those Ursacs, or Jason got a different one that's not an Ursac. I can't remember what brand it is.
Yeah, he was talking about that.
Well, I have a problem with like literally all these methods. So I'm hoping that we can pick the best method. Sometimes sometimes maybe you don't hang. Maybe like when I was on the long trail, I know that people are like, you're supposed to hang your backpack on those little hooks at the shelter, not
Yeah.
your food. But we all hung our food on them, and it's got that little can thing hanging over the string so mice and squirrels can't crawl onto your food and chew through it. But I have witnessed myself, I have witnessed the results of a bear coming through and stealing somebody's food. Literally wake up the next day, and the bear has climbed up and clawed and cut the rope, and the people's food is literally laying there smashed. Bear has gotten into their food bag, ripped it apart. Anything that is still edible is totally smashed, so it's not really edible. So it's like there's no fail proof way to do it. So I'm wondering, what's the best method, and how much weight should we put into proper food storage?
Well, we've already got 3 comments.
Oh, here we go. This is gonna be hot button here.
Very first one, Riff Outdoors. My tent is the bear canister. Suga Outdoors, Ursuga canadensis says, I PCT hang my food, never had an issue yet. Um, our good friend Devin from over at Backcountry Exposure, he said, I haven't hung my food bag in years, minus one trip where mice are a known problem. And he simply said, goes in my tent. And J-Flow got on here and says, bears are not the problem. All the scavenger animals are the real issue. So everybody has an opinion on this one. There's no doubt about that. Everybody has an opinion on this one. I will say, depending on where I am, depends on what I do. If I am in the Smoky Mountains, I'm hanging that bag every stinking time. Smoky Mountain bears are not scared of humans at all, and they'll go looking for anything they can find. Plus, I watched a bear firsthand. I was staying in a cabin. I maybe have told this story before. I don't know. I was staying in a cabin in the Smoky Mountains, and I was actually I was having back issues, and I needed to sleep reclined. And so I was sleeping on a recliner in the living room of this place, and all of a sudden I hear a banging noise. I stand up and look outside, and our dumpster, it was a wooden dumpster, probably weighed a few 100 pounds, was laying down, and I see a bear's backside hanging out the back of it, the bottom of it. It had gone up and it grabbed the trash can that was inside of it. The trash can was made so it was just wide enough to lay the trash can down in it long ways. It turned it inside the dumpster. This bear did. Turned the trash can sideways, bent the thing to tar, and then pulled out baked beans and took off up the hill.
Baked beans of all things. Those Smoky Mountain bears don't play around, dude. They'll steal your car. They do not care.
Dude, I'm telling you, I really say it's about where you are. If I'm in the Red River Gorge, you will never see me bear hang. I will sleep. I actually, this is no joke. People think I'm crazy when I say it, but when I'm in my hammock in the Red River Gorge and and someone's gonna blast me, and I'm cool with that. Like, blast away. I can take the shots. But I hang my bear bag on the end of my hammock. It's literally hanging on the end of my hammock because bears in the Red River Gorge are hunted. So they have no desire to be around anything human. They're terrified of them. And
Yeah,
so
I
we
think
never have to worry about them there.
it's probably more like who was it that said about the scavenger animals a minute ago? J-Flow.
Yeah, J-Flow.
Yeah, I think in that situation, that's more of the scavenger situation, so it needs to be out of reach. Um, I love the way that you put that. It really depends on where you go. So, like, we're on the internet right now creating this content, and the internet, if you don't want nuance, this is the place to be.
And by the way, I was totally kidding about what I just said.
If
I would never do what I just said, ever. I
If
don't
you-
do that.
if you want polarization, this is the place.
Oh, get it.
Okay. So I know that we're trying to be nuanced here, and I think there is nuance to the discussion. It's exactly what you said. It really depends on where you go. Like the long trail, if there's like bear hanging equipment and it's already in place, like in the Smokies, or there's a bear box like in the Grayson Highlands, some
Use
of
it
those
every
shelters,
time. Use it
yeah,
every
that's an
time.
easy decision. Now, whenever you've hiked 27 miles that day and you've gotten in, it's 8 o'clock and it's been dark for 2 hours and you've still been hiking, and then you're like, I still got to do all my camp tasks and then hang my bear bag. A lot of times, depending on where you're at, it just doesn't get done. Maybe you're sleeping with it. Maybe you hang it with somebody else's food that's already hung it. Maybe it goes in your tent, whatever. Or maybe you're out west and it's required for you to have some type of bear canister that's got some type of rating. And if you don't have it, not only do they inspect it as you're going in on the trail. Was it the Wonderland Trail? We had somebody on years ago that done the Wonderland Trail.
Yeah.
I think you had to like reserve your campsites, but also, and you can fact check me on this, I might be wrong, but I think that
That's never happened on this podcast, by the way.
they'll inspect your bear canister before you go out. Like the park rangers, they're basically stamping your ticket, but they're like, you have to have this bear canister. It's not safe to not have it. If we catch you out there with it, you're going to get a fine, and rightfully so. You really
Yeah.
do need it out there. So
Yeah.
to put some nuance with it, it really does depend. And by the way,
Well, and I
I'm
was gonna say,
drinking herbal tea.
well, good. That's
What do
great.
you- I see the comment. What are you drinking, John?
Oh, well, hey, I'm having Roxa Cola.
Oh, cheers.
Roxa Cola. So, Devin actually posted on here too. Goes, so I will always follow rules on food management, though, depending on the area.
Of
And I
course.
think that's what we're talking about too. Is um, it depends on where I am. Sometimes if you don't do it, they'll just kick you out if they catch you.
Yeah, or
Well, if
find
that's gonna be the case, then I won't do it. But I love this comment here. This is Jay Flow. He said there are videos of bears opening doors. I don't know if you remember a few years ago, Tim Watson. For those of you who don't remember Tim Watson, he was a big deal in backpacking YouTube for a while. Great guy. Um, Tim actually had a minivan where the bear somehow opened the door to his minivan, got inside, but then couldn't get out. And the bear tore up the inside of his minivan and
Mm.
peed in it and all this other stuff. He was finally able to go in, open the door, and the bear just took off running. He couldn't get far enough away from that. Okay, here's a great one. Low for X. There's a better food to be found in my mustache.
Yeah, they also say like toothpaste, Carmex, anything like that, anything
Yeah.
odor. I did look up a couple of statistics here while you were talking. I looked up this is according to Backpacker, which we love Backpacker magazine on this podcast. They come up with a lot of good stuff. So if you're wanting to fact check, this is where the stats are coming from. Bear canisters, hard sided, 13.6%, which is what I quoted earlier, I believe. Yep. 43% do a bear hang, as in not like John was describing, hanging from your hammock,
No.
hang it from a tree. It's
Right.
most common where there's no bear box available. Ursack or similar soft-sided bear-resistant bag, around 11%. You just tie those to a tree, and it's not foolproof. And then sleeping with your food in your tent or your shelter, 33%. Risky practice, still common despite wildlife dangers. Okay, well, I think we know which direction Backpacker leans on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it. We're all entitled to our opinion. But yeah, those were the stats on the Appalachian Trail as of 2025, according to a 279 respondent survey that they did of, I don't know if it's through hikers or section hikers or what, but yeah, that's the data for you.
I can't tell you the number of people I know that have hiked the Appalachian Trail that never hung their bear bags once.
Yeah, not a surprise, but when you're in heavy bear activity areas, like some of those shelters, I've been on the AT before, and like a bear's coming into camp, or like you're just getting word, hey,
Yeah,
this section 13 miles ahead is closed due to heavy bear activity. You're going to have to go around. And if you're in that situation, you'd be an idiot not to hang your food because
exactly.
you're
Well,
literally asking for it.
I mean, and here's the thing: I'm not advocating for don't bear hang. Just understand that. Um, but I know many people who have never hung a bear bag in their lives, and they've
Yeah.
been fine. My buddy Brian Carpenter, when we did the Sheltoe years ago, he taught me to take my socks and underwear that I wore that day and just lay them over top of my bear bag.
And
He's
what's
like,
that
they
supposed to
smell.
do?
He said they smell awful. They'll cover up the smell of your food.
I don't think that's true at all. Do
Hey,
you?
listen. I'll give you the test results.
Okay.
Never got attacked by a bear.
Okay.
So I mean, science, dude.
That's
Science.
that's a poor argument. I feel like what about the bear
I don't
sense
know,
of
man.
smell?
You've never smelled my feet after a day of hiking. So
That's fair. That's fair. You know, a bear's sense of smell versus a human's. Do you know how many times greater the bear sense of smell is?
yeah, but that means they can smell that there's like the scent of my feet in their food.
Okay. That's fair. You're like, the smell of my feet is so overpowering. Even if it's 5 times better than my nose, they ain't gonna smell it.
No, that just means it smells 5 times worse to them.
This says that dogs are 10,000 times better than humans, and bears are 100,000 to 1,000,000
Oh,
times better than humans. Do
yeah.
you believe that?
I mean, dude, it's science, just like my experiment with the socks. It's science.
It says the approximately 400 functional genes for the olfactory receptors in the humans versus over 1,000 in the black and grizzly bears. Wonder why there's no polar bears on there.
Well, I
No
think
Kodak.
I'll be honest with you. I think if my whole life depended on me foraging for food constantly,
Uh-huh.
I would hope that my sense of smell was like that.
Like what?
That like a bear.
a
Yeah.
million times better than a dog. Or, you
Yeah.
know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
if my whole life is I've got to forage for food constantly, then yeah, that is definitely something that's developed over the years for bears. That just makes sense.
I don't know about you. I can only speak for me, but as a man who all his whole life has been on the larger side, um, I know a bear is a tough life, and you're going to die a lot younger as a bear than as a human. We get a great life. I gotta say, there's something that sounds good about eating as much as you want, getting as fat as you want, and then literally sleeping for. I know they don't actually. A lot of them don't actually hibernate. There's just like a slow season. But to be a bit hyperbolic here, how great would it be to just get super fat, sleep a whole bunch, and then you're like, God, I'm getting so skinny. The weather's getting nice out. Let me just get up for a while and get fat again. Oh, this is life.
Man, you're not wrong about that. It's almost like teachers. They work all fall and spring, and they get the whole summer off, and they get to have fun.
I'm catching strays out here. What's going on? I thought we were on the same team here.
Oh, I couldn't help myself. It was
Oh.
just like laying out there. I was like, "Please, please say
Low
this," and I had
low
to do it.
hanging low hanging fruit, wasn't it?
Absolute low hanging fruit. I'm reading some great stuff in here. Let me see. There was one. Oh, where is it? Right here. It's Suga canadensis. Um, said, I live in PA and hunters harvested 2,851 bears in 2025 during the Pennsylvania bear season. I'm always hanging my food. And I
Oh
get that.
gosh.
I get that.
Did I send you that picture of that bear that Jason's buddy killed?
Uh-uh.
Oh my gosh, dude. I gotta send it to you. If I find it during the show, I'll send it to you. If not, that's okay. But
Riff Outdoors, shots fired. I'm sorry, I had to get my movie, like my, you know,
I'm out here
there was a
catching strays.
boy. What's that?
I said I'm out here catching strays. I feel like my voice is turning into that the deeper that we get into the episode because I'm slowly losing it after talking all day.
Yeah, I would say so, man. That's your job is that during the week. That's my job on the weekends. So I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
We
get
get
it.
we get to talk for a living. Not a
Yep.
bad gig.
I don't complain about my job
Yeah,
ever.
we're literally doing it again, even in our off time. Here we are.
And I'm getting ready to start another one here before too long. So it's like I'm just gonna multiply it.
What do you mean start another one? You talking about a
Yeah.
podcast?
Well, yeah, the we talked about a few weeks ago with the YouTube channel and
Oh, with your buddies?
podcast and all that. Yeah.
I got
So
you.
be
Now I'm
looking for
not
it. Cross
finding it.
trails. It's coming.
We'll be on the lookout, man. I seen a comment on here about a mountain lion. We could segue to that if you want.
I was actually gonna get to that. That was actually you and I are thinking alike on this one. Let me go up here. It
Yeah.
was Chance Brave was on here and he said, have y'all encountered a mountain lion on trail? I live in Northeast Oklahoma and they are my fear while out on trail. And Jeremiah, there was a woman recently killed by a mountain lion. And it was the first in 25 years in Colorado.
Yeah, tragic situation here. Not to make light of it, we're basically going to talk a little bit about the aspects of it, though. Thoughts and prayers with the family of the lady and terrible situation. 25 years in 25 years, first
Oh, Jeremiah,
fatality.
before we do anything else, this got by us somehow. We
Okay.
got a first time live watcher, Kay Fuller from upstate New York. What's going on, man?
Who are?
Or
Welcome to
ma'am?
the show.
I don't know. Is this a man or a woman? I don't know. It's just an initial. So
Yeah, I couldn't see their avatar picture. Small
yeah.
on my screen. I think it might be a guy standing in front of a U.S. flag. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, dude. So the
Oh,
mountain.
yeah, that's definitely a dude because that'd be one ugly woman. So no, I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding. You'd make a beautiful woman. I'm just kidding.
Turns out to actually be a woman. John's like, what? What? Whoops. Because bears are such a problem in the Adirondacks. You know, talking about upstate New York, and the Catskill Park. All the high peaks now require you to carry a bear canister in the ADK. Boy, they're transitioning, huh?
Yeah, the
Or to the
Adirondacks, man.
bear can. I hate that you have to do the bear canister. I get that high traffic areas and you got to take precautions, but they're to me inconvenient. But you know, they're actually multi-use. You know, you can wash your laundry in it, you can use it as a stool, you can store your food in it, and well, actually, that's all I got. I think that's all.
It's also a great thing you can use to hit your friend upside the head if he snores too loud.
That's true.
So it's
It's an
fantastic.
alarm clock.
So, I do want to say one more thing before we get to the rest of the stuff about mountain lions.
Sure.
One of the biggest problems with bears, and especially in the Smokies, is that people are making bears comfortable around humans.
Yeah, even
They're
feed.
they all everybody wants to get a picture of a bear, and so they'll feed them. And here's the problem: you start feeding bears, suddenly they think when they come in around humans that the humans are there to feed them, and that's where all these issues start coming from. So, folks, if you're one of these people that goes to the Smoky Mountains and feeds bears, stop it. Just stop. You're part of the problem. We love you. I mean, we want you to keep watching the Backpacking Podcast. Please stop feeding bears. That's just silliness. Just don't do it.
Yeah,
Stop it
dude.
now.
It's
Stop. Quit it. Don't feed the bears.
I
Okay.
have
So don't feed them. Sorry.
I seen them,
did it
dude.
again.
The black bears, big time pest, man. They'll come rummage through your trash. I mean, like if you look at Gatlinburg, you can see video after video. They're literally just walking down the strip in Gatlinburg. And Gatlinburg is like, how do I put this? If you can't,
Redneck Disneyland.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you're not punching your ticket, taking a flight to Disneyland, but you got a little money in your back pocket, maybe go down and watch them make taffy in Gatlinburg. It's the next best thing, and you can buy some fun socks. You could try they got all kinds of moonshine distilleries where they do their own brewing. Or
You've
whatever
got
you
one of
call
the
it.
best knife stores in the history of mankind down there.
Yeah, I check out
Smoky Mountain Knife Works. Fantastic.
they have a little hiking store down there too. I don't know if you've been in there,
Mhm.
but I bought a shirt the last time I was there, and it lasted for a long time. Anything that you need equipment wise, like if you're on the AT and you just so happen to hitchhike into Gatlinburg, I showed a group around there, and it's very touristy. Lots of fried foods,
But
and
delicious fried foods.
dude, one time Bridget and I were taking a road trip, and the first stop was Gatlinburg. Actually, we didn't know where we were going. We just knew that we had no obligations, no kids, and we said, let's just take off in the car, and then maybe we'll flip a coin. We'll take the interstate till it hits the coast. We'll flip a coin and go north or south. So anyway, we didn't end up doing that. We made it to Gatlinburg, and then we got a like a cheap hotel at the end of the strip because everything's overpriced there. And went out the next morning, car didn't start. So I had to get a jump, drive straight to AutoZone, and then half my vacation money, I was pretty broke at the time. So a new battery for that car was like $180 or something. I was like, boy, this is really going to eat into the gas money that we set aside for this road trip, you know? So that was a tough one. I think we
Okay.
did end up in Florida. What were you
Okay,
going to say?
We got one post we have to do before we get back into Mountain Lions, and
Okay.
this is from Loafer X. And of course, my screen just adjusted as I was about to put it up there. So hang on a second.
Okay.
He said this 2 words: wag canister.
Wag canister. Ooh, is that a double duty?
Duty is a good word for it.
A little double entendre there.
A little-
Is that a double duty multi tool there?
I mean, you think about it. If you were to make a wag canister seat, you could make a wag canister.
Man, imagine you have to dump all your food out. You put the seat on there with the bag under it, and then you do your business. You take it out and you put your food back in.
Then you find out the bag leaked and you didn't realize it and you put your food in there.
Oh, you end up with E. coli or whatever. Oh my
Pink
God.
eye.
Yeah, extreme double pink eye, triple pink eye. Hey, you ask somebody, do you want to try some of this snack? Like, yeah, they end up with pink eye. This just sounds like a bad situation, man.
Oh, it's just awesome. And then someone put on here almost like the wag tube.
The wag tube. Disgusting.
Nasty.
You are so
nasty.
gross.
Nasty. Okay. Mountain lions.
Yeah, so I'll give you a little info on this situation here. Kind of set up the question that I got for you, John. I'd love to hear the audience's take on this too. So, unfortunately, this situation happened on New Year's Day of this year. So, a couple weeks ago, 46-year-old lady. Her name is Kristen, and she was found deceased on I'm not sure if I'm saying this right, Crosier, Crosier, Crosier Mountain Trail in Larimer County, Colorado, just southeast of Glen Haven. Is a remote area near Estes Park. And two hikers passing by saw a mountain lion near her body and scared it off by throwing rocks at it. And then they checked on her, and there was a physician in the group, and they didn't find a pulse, unfortunately.
No.
And the response to it, here's one I'm curious to hear your take on. The response to it is just like with a bear attack, euthanize. So they go hunting for this mountain lion, but the problem is they don't just found the mount. They don't just find the mountain lion. They find two mountain lions. And you know what they do? Pew
I took them
pew.
both out. Yeah.
Took them both out. So just humanely talking, is that the correct?
Okay, before we start this, Jeremiah, are you ready?
I don't know if I'm ready.
And I'm not talking about for me. I'm talking about for the comments that will be coming from the TikTok shorts on this, the YouTube shorts, the podcast itself. It's coming because this is a hot. If you want to talk hot button, talk wildlife management.
Yes.
So here we go. Everybody's been forewarned. Go.
Okay. Are we okay with the double euthanasia? Is there an alternative that you can even do? I mean, I've heard about relocating bears. I've never heard of relocating mountain lions. Maybe that's already a thing. But if they've attacked a human, is that because they're in the area and they saw an opportunity and they're like, I'm hungry, and that's a prey, and they just get them? And then even if you put them somewhere else, then they might attack another human? Or are you supposed to get them both and you don't really know, like you're taking an innocent mountain lion out, but it's still an animal. It's not a human. And
Right.
we hold humans to a higher standard. Well, I don't know if that's the right way to say it. We value human life more than any other type of life. If you're talking about, like, if you were talking on a normal distribution curve of people's opinions, I think it would be safe to say on a normal distribution, the majority of people are human lives are more valuable than animal lives. So if we're specifically talking about mountain lions versus human lives only, do you go ahead and get them both? Do you try to figure out which one it was? Do you trank both of them and then see if there's human DNA in one of their mouths? Do you just not take a chance? What's the right answer here?
Well, the first thing we have to understand even before this, is once an animal gets a taste for human flesh and they realize it's valuable to eat, that means they're going to start hunting humans.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you don't want. And that's the real issue here. That's why they have to euthanize the lions. It's not evil bad people kill lions. We were in their land. No, it's you can't allow there to be a generation of mountain lions that learn that humans are delicious. We're going to start hunting them. There's a real issue there. They need to have animals. It's good for animals to have a healthy fear of humans.
Yeah.
Because that means probably less of them will die.
And us too. Maybe not feed the bears.
Exactly. Don't feed the bears. We've talked about this. Don't feed the mountain lions stuff either. But really, that's animals can learn very well. They can learn, and they're led by one thing or two things: reproduction and food. Those are the only two things that most animals care about.
Mm-hmm.
They're not worried about whether or not the 49ers are going to win their playoff game. You know, they could care less about getting to watch the next episode of whatever their favorite TV show is. They don't care about that stuff. They could care less if Stranger Things actually has another episode that they didn't tell us about. That doesn't matter to them. The only thing they care about is the food they're going to eat and reproducing. That's it. That's an animal's life. And so when they find a source of food that they can get to, you don't want that to be your child or your spouse or your friends. And so that's why the outcome is what it is. Do any of us like it? No. Nobody wants to just kill animals for no reason. That's not if you do, hang on and we'll hook you up with a psychiatrist here after we're done.
Yeah.
To deal with your issues. But it's just a reality that you can't allow that to be the learned action of an animal that, oh, there's a human, let's hunt them. That's a bad situation to get into.
Yeah, and that's two mountain lions. It's estimated like 3,800 to 4,400 mountain lions live in the Western US. So you took out two, but not gonna lie, dude, I've watched, like, on History Channel, they have different shows like Mountain Men, and, there's one guy that it's one of his jobs is hunting these mountain lions. Like, they start killing calves. I guess the
Mhm.
mountain lions, they're overpopulated in some areas, or maybe they're just being an opportunity hunter and taking out these calves, an easy victim, and then the farmer's losing thousands of dollars, a generation of cows, and they pay this guy to take his dogs and run these mountain lions off. Or if it's a persistent issue, then he's doing the same thing that they done, shoot them.
Mhm.
So
Well,
you did
somebody
lose two.
Suga actually put something on here if you're cool with me posting it real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Um, Suga said mountain lion is an apex predator. Once they perceive humans as food, it's time to do something that people may find repugnant. In those areas, there were more mountain lions than could be sustained. And
That's
so it
that's an issue.
well, and it's one of the reasons we deer hunt. And a lot of people don't understand that, but deer hunting's not just to get some big head to put on your wall.
Right.
Deer hunting in especially in this area of the country and several other areas is for food. I mean, I've got a freezer full of venison meat for my family that I shot this year. And if you don't regulate the number of animals in the woods, especially deer, what can happen is their food sources become rarer and rarer, and it actually causes potential disease and the death of other deer because they don't have the environment that can sustain and withhold all of these animals. So hunting isn't in itself an evil thing. It's actually a good thing for that reason. And in the case of this, if you start seeing overabundance of mountain lions, you're going to see an overabundance of a lot of other things being dead. So there is the need for some kind of wildlife management with that.
Yeah, I wish I could have my cake and eat it too. I wish that we could have the same quality of life that we have now.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
And
laugh.
well, I mean, that's the reality is that you
Yeah,
can't, right? You can't
yeah,
have your cake and eat it too. You can't live in a world where you have the same comforts in life that you have right now, the same quality of life that we have in Western culture, and then at the same time not push other things in nature out of balance. It just doesn't work. We're
right.
harvesting trees to build houses. Okay, we're we're polluting rivers and oceans with trash and chemicals so that we can have the quality of life that we want. We're drilling into the earth and sucking its blood out in the form of oil so we can make the plastics and the equipment to even record this show, to have that cell phone in your pocket, to
Yep.
drive that car that you have, to have, tires on your vehicle. So I wish I could have my cake and eat it too. But at the end of the day, if you're going to live in this world and keep this same quality of life, certain sacrifices have to be made. Now, luckily, this is more of an isolated incident. Actually, there's only been around a dozen mountain lion fatalities, meaning that they killed somebody in the last century in the US. So attacks are down, compared to a lot of other situations. But you're right. Your example about the deer hunting, I mean, that doesn't even that's not even factoring in the equation of all the car crashes that would happen as a result of the overpopulation of deer where we'd lose human lives. And if you're going to say the buck stops at human life is more valuable than animal life, then you have to take action. And so, I mean, I hate it. I feel for the victim, Kristen. It
So
says here she's
basically, so Jeremiah, basically what you're saying is
excuse me.
you hate animals.
Not only do I hate
That's
them, I love to eat them. I wanna put them in my belly. I wanna chew them up and taste them.
okay. I gotta read a few comments. There's been some great comments going on here while you've been talking. And uh, Kay Fuller, I'm glad you're here today, man. You're leaving some great comments. Are they hunting humans or are they associating humans with high calorie backpacking food? That's the biggest problem with the Adirondacks. I've had to go search for a bear canister more than once, and there are responses to this. Um, here's my favorite one. Good point. It's not showing it. Here we go. Good point. Hikers are pretty much wilderness Grubhub.
A little trail snack.
Oh man. And here's another good question. We can ask this one. My question is, was this person eaten or just killed by a mountain lion? Could have been like most attacks and was defensive. Euthanasia is still likely best, but not sure if it's food driven. That's a great question. Absolutely great question.
Let me double
Josh,
check.
that was Josh Juckett. Josh, I don't remember saying your name very often, if ever, on here. So welcome to the live stream. Great question.
I'm going to check and see. And while I'm checking here, I wanted to say, just so everybody knows, Kristen Kovac. I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right.
Probably Kovac would be my guess.
It's Vatch. I'm not sure how to
Vach. Oh,
pronounce
maybe
it,
it is
but
Vach.
it said on the coroner's report that the injuries were consistent with mountain lion attack, and the cause of death was actually asphyxiation due to external neck compression. So it must have got her. That's very
Right
common.
around the neck.
Yeah, they'll even carry deer up into trees. I mean,
Yep.
they're very strong. They get them by the neck, and that's how they kill them. But she was an avid outdoorsman, ultra marathon runner, and it wasn't like her first go around. This is just like a freak thing that happened, and she was running along the mountain trails. It says that there's no credible or confirmed report that it was eating her. So I don't know if that's because that they found her before it could drag her off. The people that found her, the two hikers that I mentioned earlier,
Mhm.
they didn't say that she was actively being eaten. Just said that, they scared it off by throwing rocks at the mountain lion. So I would, if I had to guess, it was going to eat her. I mean, I've heard of big cats dragging stuff up into the tree, and it
Oh
might sit
yeah.
there for a day before they eat it, or 2
Yeah.
days.
Well, and here, Suga canadensis said there was human DNA found in one of the mountain lions.
See now, well, they at least they know which one. The other one they could be like, God rest his soul. We didn't
Right.
mean it, buddy. We didn't
Yeah.
mean it, but you're dead. But we didn't mean it.
Okay, let's move from mountain lions for a second. I want to bring up something that we've only got a few minutes left, so this is a good one we can end on. It doesn't we don't need spend a lot of time on this, but uh, last year I don't know if you remember, I went with Colorado Christian University to or Oklahoma Christian University with their backpacking class on a backpacking trip last year.
Mhm.
Great time. One of the best weekends I've ever had. Took my hammock down. Everybody else was sleeping in tents, and I had my hammock, and they were all just kind of salivating over the hammock the whole time, right? Had a great hike, had a great time. We were down in Devil's Den State Park down in Arkansas, and was ready to go back again this year. And then something just happened today that I found, or last night that I found out that I had to change my plans. My son is in Trail Life, which is a scouting organization, and their camporee is the exact same weekend as that backpacking trip.
Now, what's a camporee?
Camporee is basically where they get all the kids from all these different troops together and have one big camp out.
Oh, okay. How many kids are
So
we talking about here? 100
it
kids?
it can be between 100, 200 kids.
Gosh, wow.
So out
Bless
here
your
camping
heart.
out.
If you're helping with that, at least you'll have fun because your boy's
Yeah.
there.
Well, and that's just it. I don't think I could look my son in the eye and say, "Hey, buddy, I'm sorry you can't go to the camporee because your daddy's going to backpack with other people." So I actually had to step out of that trip, and I'm going to the camporee instead. So I guess what I want to talk about a little bit is how does being a parent and a spouse affect backpacking for you? And I know you're a new parent, roughly new. I mean, it's been a year now.
Yeah, year and a half.
Yeah. So how has that changed? Let me ask you, how has that changed your backpacking and how often you can get out and the ability to get out and do it?
Well, I'll be honest. Yesterday, I worked all day. I'm a little under the weather, as you can tell from my voice. And then you get home and you're like, okay, I got to do this, 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 this. And then finally it's like 9 o'clock and you're like, okay, now I got to brush my teeth and get in bed. You're like, gosh, I feel like my entire day has been from 5:30 to now, obligation after obligation. At work, I'm in
Mhm.
charge of kids, trying to educate them, mathematics. And then you get home and then you got a kid and spouse and family obligations. But it is the biggest surprise I had, honestly, from becoming a parent is nobody told you that all of a sudden your life changes and there's no opportunity to mourn the life that you had. Like,
Mm,
it's an entirely different situation. Like, there's no more, let's take a road trip and just, I'm going to take 2 grand and just blow it on this road trip for the next 2 weeks and us go do whatever we want. Sky's the limit. We can go anywhere we want as long as you got enough money. To getting a call in the middle of the day, hey, your kid's running a fever. You need to leave work because we can't keep them here at this daycare. To, you know, this upcoming weekend, you were going to Arkansas. I'm just, for
yeah.
example, this was coming weekend. I was going to Arkansas, but I found out that I need to take my kid to this other trip because how can you look your kid in the face and say, I'm more important than you? I mean, that's just
Right.
a bad
Right.
parent. So, just the obligation of time. But like I said, the biggest surprise is no opportunity to mourn your former life. Like you look at these pictures of what the world was like and your perspective and your worldview, and then you just get a big shift. And it's a good shift, but it's a big shift, you
It
know?
is. Yeah. Well, even like I will say this: when my kids were little, it wasn't as big of a deal if I went backpacking.
Sure.
You know, the truth is, when your kid's a baby, it's much easier to watch your kid than it is when they're 2 or 3 years old. They're little spastic children that run all over the place and get into everything you can find and don't have a clue as to what's safe and what's not. Suddenly then it's like, when my wife, when we had our kids, is when I got into backpacking.
Mhm.
It really is like I started getting into backpacking 2015, 2016. My daughter was born in 2017. And so um I started getting into that, and my son was born in 2018. I did the Sheltowee, the first long trail that I did in the fall of 2018. So my kid was I had a daughter that was less than 2 years old and a son who was less than a year old. And I found it much easier to get out and do that than it is right now, because I think there's different factors at play. At least for me, there is. Now my kids actually miss me when I'm gone.
Yeah.
When they're 1 and 2 years old, they don't really know what's going
Right.
on. They just know when you're there, they're glad you're there, and when you're not there, well, you'll be there eventually. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
you could, disappear outside and you're like, "I was just mowing the yard." You come back in and they're like, "Oh my gosh." They run and they wanna
yeah,
see you.
yeah, and Jeff Peters just posted something on here. He said, "I've got 2 in college and a third in high school. Just in the last few years, it hasn't become an issue anymore. John, you made the right call with the camperee." Yeah, and as my kids get older, the other thing is, as my kids get older, I'll have the ability to take them out with me,
Sure.
you know? And I can to an extent now. They've gone out with me and they've hiked all over the place with me. Um, I've camped out with them several times. We haven't done an official back I can't say we've done one small backpacking trip, and we wanna do more. And this year is probably gonna be the year we really get to do it, because my son is at the point now where, I mean, for one thing, I'm buying him he's getting a little rifle this year for his birthday, and he doesn't know it, but he's getting a little rifle for his birthday. And, this Sunday, my daughter's going on a roller skating trip with her friends. I looked at my son, said, "What do you wanna do on Sunday?" He goes, "Can we go shoot guns?" I'm like, "Let's go, bud. Let's do it." He wants to be outside. He wants to do outdoors things. He wants to hunt. He wants to backpack. He wants to hike. He wants to camp. And so now the ability to get out's there, but it's a different kind. Now it's not so much with all my buddies, it's with my little buddy, you know? And so it changes things, but I think it's a good change. It's not necessarily bad. It doesn't mean I can't go out with my friends every once in a while if I want to, but, you know this as well as I do. If you're in a good marriage and you got good kids,
Mhm.
you actually miss them when you're gone.
Oh, yeah, dude, you regret you're, like, leaving, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, why do I have him as my lock screen? Now this is all I'm thinking about." And
Yeah.
I hopefully that never goes away. I know he's fresh, in the Stringer household, only a year and a half, so we've just been living through some beautiful aspects of life, but, yeah, like that trip last weekend. You're laying out there in your hammock, and you're like, "This has been awesome. I love seeing my friends. I love watering these relationships. I don't get to see these
Yep.
people often enough. I miss getting to see them once a month. Now I'm seeing them once a year. I miss my friends." And then on the other hand, you're like, I regret not being able to, tuck my little boy in tonight, give him a kiss and tell him good night. I'm missing that. Anytime you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else.
Exactly.
So it's paramount to sometimes say no so you can say yes to what you need to. So it's all about balance, but I tell you, it's tough. Oh, Chris, that hiking guy in the comments. What up, punks? Hey,
You do realize that Chris just turned 73 yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before. So,
73.
yeah, congratulations, Chris. You don't look a day over 60. Um,
Hey, I was gonna tell you one other thing about
well,
the parenting situation.
I
You
was gonna
got
say
some
we got some comments about it actually. A lot of comments
yeah,
actually. You care if we go through some of these real
yeah,
quick?
go ahead.
Okay, let me go back. It keeps shifting up on me every time I get a good one here. Um, this one is from Terry Canedo. Uh, Same difference when your kids are grown. Now that my kids are 19 and 21, I go more often, longer trips farther from home. I'm planning a Washita Trail hike. They just disappeared on me. Wachita Trail in March couldn't have happened 5 years ago. Of course, J Flow, take your kids on some backpacking trips with you. That is absolutely the plan. Fuller, man, I'm glad you're in here, dude. You've had some great comments today. It's a balance for sure. I'm lucky my daughter is 10 and getting into harder hikes. She completed the Franconia Ridge Loop in the Whites last year. Super proud dad. Jeff Peters, now my high school daughter can't wait to be rid of me when I go backpacking. And here's another great one. I love this. Says if your friends have kids, plan a group trip with them or with the kids. That's a great idea. And then during elementary school years, we went on a lot of car camping trips. And yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of what we do. We've done a lot of camping. Um, my kids love being outside, and they really enjoy just getting out there. Oh, and by the way, yeah, Chris, I know you're 56. I just wanted to give you a hard time. Have
Happy
to bust
birthday,
on you a little bit for calling us punks, old man.
buddy.
So yeah, but I think it's one of those things. It's always good. Um, Backpacking is something we can pass down. And now we may not be able to do the same miles as we get older. We may not be able to do the harder terrains as we get older, but it's something you can really do for most of your life. And you can pass that down to your kids, and it's something that when they have kids, imagine getting to go backpacking with your grandkids, you know?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I look at it as that's a catalyst for relationship building.
Yeah.
All the you can call it whatever you want. Call it noise, call it pressure, call it, whatever. All that goes away whenever you're just out in nature. That's one of the best parts about backpacking is that's just one avenue in my life where if you got problems, they shut off whenever you're out there. And if they don't shut off, it gives you an opportunity to figure it out. All the noise goes away. Same thing happens whenever I play basketball. You're not thinking about anything else. You're just thinking about being in the moment, taking care of business, having fun, and building relationships. And I mean, that's kind of what it's about is that experience. So I'm excited to take my little boy out and do a whole family adventure like we talked about on our New Year's resolutions. It may not
Yeah.
be backpacking, but getting the whole family out in the woods to sleep for a night at least once this year. I don't know how I'm going to navigate it right now. Anytime I take my little boy out, I got to like, strap him to me. We got to leash him up or something. Otherwise, he's just gone.
He's gone,
So
yeah.
I'm a little bit scared of taking him into the woods like that, but I think we can handle it.
Well, I'll tell you the one thing I learned is start off with those small hikes where they get used to just being out there and
Uh-huh.
let them pick up every stick they find and walk with it and beat it against things and let them stop and play in the dirt for a little bit. And when you're hiking with kids, it's not about the hike. It's about the experience of being out there for them. And when those kids just get out there and they just fall in love with being out there, the hiking comes later. Just be out there with them. And with that said, Jeremiah, I figured it'd be nice to end on a little bit more heartwarming topic than you know, killing mountain lions. So
Yeah, yeah, you did well. This is why you're a great producer of the show, John. You do a great job. Send him your love, folks.
that's right. And I had a question on here. I will answer here. Um, Riff Outdoors asked, he said, "Aren't you right behind him, John?" Is like, he's got me by 4 years. And he's actually been taking his grandson out backpacking. I don't have grandkids yet, so he's way older than I am.
You're
So with
hot on
that
the trail.
said, thank you guys for tuning into the Backpacking Podcast. It's been a fun time. We'll catch you guys on the next one.